So Caroline, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Caroline Shaw and I'm the Chief Executive of Voluntary Action within Kent, which is a multi-purpose organisation offering both infrastructure services to other organisations, and by infrastructure I mean advice, information, training, representation, volunteering, but also direct service delivery. We are heavily involved in youth volunteering, projects for older people, a lot of stuff around learning disability. I hope you're going to edit this.
So as an infrastructure organisation, you're a big one, because that's quite a broad range of stuff. It's a relatively large organisation.
We started off very small, and actually we've expanded rapidly over the last 6 years, mainly through merger and through project management, certainly not through core grant and core services, but the stuff that we do with, if you like, the surpluses that we try and make on projects and other activities that we run, pay for the core services.
Right.
And so now we, for instance, have a development team of 4, but that's funded through a big lottery basis bid. And we have 13 offices across Kent, from Edenbridge in the west through to Canterbury in the east, Rochester in the north, and I guess sort of Tunbridge Wells.
Right. And how many staff?
We've got 56, mainly full-time. There are some part-time in that, but 56 staff at the last count.
Right.
Again, mainly running projects. We keep our core very, very as slim, as lean as we can. So most staff are running projects.
Great. And 2 questions about IT. One is about what you use it for internally, and the other is about what you think you do to help your organisations use it, that you support as members. Or
internally, particularly as we've grown, as we've merged, and as we've diversified, ICT has become one of our top strategic priorities, because it is a tool by which internally we all communicate. It's a tool by which we disseminate information. It's a tool with which in many cases we reach our users, our other stakeholders, ranging from our trustees to our funders to supporters. So it's everywhere. One of the things that we've been moving to, and we're probably halfway there, we've got the bigger picture, is being able to access the server and all the sort of VAWK facilities from wherever you are. We've now got virtual VPNs in place, and so, for instance, I could be sitting in my Canterbury office and access my email, my server documents if I wanted to, and that sort of thing, which has been great. We're not totally there, but that's really been because of the merger. With projects that we start up, we can start off in the right way, but when we take projects in, lock, stock and barrel, we have to move slowly, and nobody says, oh, you've merged, here's another £20,000 to sort out the ICT problems. We have to do that ourselves. But at the moment we're just having a strategic sort of overlook at the whole organisation, because one of the things that we've noticed is that we're running 4 or 5 different email addresses, and actually I don't think your email address identifies where you're from. If you look at some of the government ones, they're just acronyms. It could be anything. It's a signature underneath the name that identifies where you are. So we want to move everybody onto the VAWK domain, for instance, which means we can then share calendars, which is frustrating. Again, we can do that with half the organisation. We know what a fabulous management tool that is, but we can't do it with everybody.
Right. And what about the needs of frontline organisations? Do you have any way that you're helping them, or that you intend to help them with IT support?
We do indeed, and we've noticed that there has been a need for it. We organise ICT training. That's a start for other organisations, and very much have wanted for a while to start up a circuit riders project. We have a computer recycling project that again we rescued and really developed, which will be the linchpin framework from which we hang all the, hopefully, the ICT stuff that we do, because we have a lot of volunteers with specialist IT knowledge up there. They've got all the equipment up there, really kitted out for it, and it's quite central. From Rochester, you can move out from wherever you want to in the county. One of the things that we've noticed is really a lack of understanding. Most of our members are now on email. For a while, we switched. We no longer print out a hard copy of our newsletter, for instance. But when we switched to that, we stopped charging a membership fee. So we said to people, if you want to print it out yourself in your offices, that's fine. But your membership fee really pay for our postage and printing and everything else. So both from an environmental point of view, and also it took a lot more time, etc. And this way, if they get it by email, they can then disseminate it to other people within their organisations. If they get one hard copy, that's more difficult. And slowly we've done that. I think on sort of a membership of about 600 organisations, we probably only send out less than 10 in hard copy now. Everybody else accesses it by email. So that's been a real coup for us. We know that there are organisations out there who aren't using IT, anything from websites to servers to just security of their information and their documents. They're not using it properly. And one of the things that I would like to do is yes, they need somebody to be able to go and fix their computer when it goes wrong, who understands their sector, who understands their needs. That's crucial. But also, I think, and this is where the role of the ICT Champion comes in, because I think that they need strategically, again, rather like us, to know how ICT can work for their organisation, as opposed to just using it as a tool to type a letter. That's the difference. We're starting to explore putting together a new website, and we really want it to be up there, the sort of, as far as we can, at the leading edge in terms of blogs and forums and all the new media, if you like. I don't think we could quite get into Twitter yet, but that sort of thing. Particularly with our young people. The young people, they don't use email. We've got 2,500 volunteers, young volunteers working for us. They don't use email anymore. They use text. They use MySpace, they use Twitter, they use whatever. They don't, interestingly enough, use email. So again, that's all changing, and how we work with our volunteers, especially our young volunteers, is changing.
Great. And anything else in particular from your role, either as in VAWK or RAISE, that you think the ICT Champion should be doing, or that your understanding is that that's what they're there to do?
I believe they're there to promote the use of ICT. I think there's a big promotion and awareness raising role for the ICT Champion. I also like very much the idea of the ICT Champion working with funders to look at how the use of IT, because I think quite often an organisation will get, okay, I've got £500, I put it in the bid to buy a new laptop, but then actually they don't know what they're doing with it. It's not secure, they don't maintain it, they don't support it. And then, 18 months down the line, they're having problems again. So I think there's work that can be done there. And similarly, to support projects like the one that we're trying to do, but from a regional level, around supporting the local. Because obviously one person can't be out there with their screwdriver fixing everybody's computer, but they can work with organisations to ensure that happens.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Perfect.